Hey folks, welcome to Transplant Helper today. My name is Jim Merle. I'm sitting outside my house this morning. It's about 7:30. It's 55 degrees and I'm in the midst of my favorite season in the world, and that is fall. Now, no doubt, things like the leaves changing in a couple of weeks, that's going to be wonderful. Obviously, the temperatures dropping out of the 90s and the hundreds, that's absolutely awesome. It's a whole lot better on me as a heart transplant patient. I can breathe better. There's some moisture in there. There's just a lot going on that make this my favorite season. Football is at its height right now. High school football, I'm a huge fan of that. All that makes this my favorite season. However, this is also a season where I, as a transplant patient, and most likely you, whether you realize it yet or not, are going to begin to have some problems. Now, they won't be severe problems. It's not like your heart's going to change its rhythm or your lungs are going to stop functioning. Not necessarily that. But we're going to start having some problems as far as sinus type infections. Now, again, not necessarily dangerous, but we have to stay on top of things so they don't one thing lead to another. Now, you say, well, why in the world would sinuses be a problem this time of year? You know, if you live in the area of the country like I do, it's normally the springtime or summertime that brings on all the pollens and causes all the problems. But that's actually not true. For those of us who are post-transplant and therefore immunosuppressed, this time of the year can be just as bad, if not worse, because there's a lot of things happening out there as far as molds, as far as spores or mold spores, that sort of thing. Certain, I don't know what you call it other than bugs that are out. Not physical insects, but bugs, as far as the way we use the term sometimes, have kind of all come out and are making their attack. One of the most dangerous things you can encounter, believe it or not, this time of year is actually something that makes the world so beautiful, and that's this little guy right here, this leaf. Now, I have a yard, and I'll show you the trees here. I have a yard that is surrounded by trees. We live in the country. We have oak trees and sycamore trees and pine trees, and you name it, we've got it. And during that time of year, as these little guys here start to fall and they lay on the ground, it doesn't take them very long laying in the dew and the moisture to start to grow some of those little spores and some of those molds that can get really dangerous. Now, in general, they're not going to bother you, but it's the time when you begin to get out, as we had done yesterday. My wife, my children got out and started doing some of that final touch-up work on the yard, trimming the bushes, mowing the grass for the last time or two, maybe two or three, but mowing the grass for the last time or two. That's when those leaves, those things started to really get broke up and come up in the air so I could breathe them in. I hadn't thought anything about it, so I wasn't masked up. I wasn't wearing glasses, anything that I might do, say in the springtime. Hadn't thought much about it until I went to lay my head down last night. And I get to lay down and I can't breathe, and the back of my throat burns, and everything's kind of coming on. Yeah, I forgot about that. Now, it's not a real dangerous thing. It's uncomfortable, but if it's let to go on too long and some of these things get on down into your real upper respiratory system, from your head down into your lungs, it can really be a problem. So I'm just saying this to caution you that it's a beautiful time of year. Please enjoy it, but especially when you're out and about and some of these things are being stirred up by grass cutting or whatever it is, be cautious, because it can be a time of year that we need to avoid. In addition to that, and I've talked about this before, this time of year, those still stagnant waters are still a problem. You can get different bacteria and different fungi in your lungs and in your upper respiratory system, your nasal cavities, that can be a problem. So just use caution, but enjoy this time of year. It is absolutely beautiful. It's wonderful, and it's just the time I love. So I hope that you're in the same boat, but I hope you'll be cautious and just take this advice for whatever it's worth. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just somebody who's been there and currently doing that. And right now, I'm paying the price for spending too much time in this wonderful world yesterday. I'm going to be backed off a little bit and relax and try to get some of this stuff flushed out. Anyway, I hope this has been some help to you. If it has, how about go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Most of my videos are related to the transplant itself, and I think you'll find some valuable information. But, just thank you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay stronger, friends.